Okay, today's video will be from the north gate to the east gate, using, as usual, our specialized cross trail. We first have to climb a short trail from the bottom of the north gate to the top. And then once we arrive at the top, we will head towards the east gate. It'll be approximately 3 kilometers or so. This is the trail leading. Oh, we'll put the bicycle here. All right, so we'll take a short walk to the top of the north gate. You can see here's the road coming in from the north. We take this particular road out to the north is to the next big temple is going to be Preah Khan. So it's the top of the north gate. It's photographically, actually, the north gate is a very beautiful gate, and a lot of people come to this gate to do birthday, wedding, whatever photography. Here's the moat out here, and there we can see again the road going north. So there's the bicycle. It's actually a pretty nice day today. It might rain, but I think we might be lucky. Let's take a short walk here to where the trail starts. The last time I took this trail was about I guess a few months back. So 3 months, whatever, 4 months. So I can't at the moment remember if there are going to be any breaks or anything, but I Yeah, there's the trail at the bottom, right? It's more, I don't see any recent bicycle tracks there. As I've mentioned before, these trails, and this is the rough trail back to the road. I say, as I've mentioned before, these trails were not built for bicycle rides. They were really set up for the maintenance workers, and I'm talking about recently, in the last 50 years or whatever. When we're talking like 900 years ago or more, the trails, I guess, there were trails up here for sure. Again, for the maintenance workers, and at that time, I think there were people coming to the corner temples for worship, so which is not really a thing anymore. I mean, people do bring offerings if they're out here, but they're more than likely just here to enjoy the Angkor temples, and mostly, I'm thinking mostly of the Cambodian people. As far as the tourists are concerned, they don't get up here in this trail very often, unless they're really into bicycling. And in a way, you could call this sort of a good trail for a short bikepacking trip. There's nothing for the mountain bikers really, but just for generally exploring and biking around. I've always enjoyed it, so I would imagine if you're watching this video, you're probably the kind of person that if you were here, you would enjoy doing this. Whoa, okay, I forgot that there is a break so soon. Oh, but there is a smooth path around it, so a relatively smooth path around it. All right. Okay. All right, I was hoping that we would have a little bit smoother ride today, but there are some roots, and the sand is pretty soft here, which means it's not really a steady ride for me. To the left, of course, is the moat, because we are now going along the north wall. So this okay. We're approximately a kilometer and a half, or pretty close to a kilometer and a half from here to the corner, which would be the northeast corner. And here we have a big break. I might as well show it to you since we're here. So it could be that we have quite a few here. All right, that's a fairly big break. All right, I'll try not to fall in. All right, so it goes down there. I could take that, I'll do that another time, the trail down on the bottom, but then you wouldn't see that much But that trail probably does not have any breaks since that's right at the edge of the moat. Okay. We'll walk around this corner since this is like very fine beach sand here. Alright, that obviously goes off to somewhere. I'm not sure if there's anyone living in the jungle out here. I'm sure there are a few, but at one time, a lot of the worker, I want to say majority, but I'm not sure that that's true, but a lot of the workers here that are maintaining the temples and stuff, there was a time when a lot of them were living somewhere in the jungle, especially the construction workers. All right, we might have a smooth path for a little while here. And I think the workers here used to also hunt for food, but I'm not sure if they're allowed to do that anymore. I'm sure it still happens at times, but they are a lot stricter about keeping this a World Heritage Site and all that. So, okay. Let's see, this is a pretty nice stretch. So I didn't really mention it at the beginning, but we are definitely in the Angkor Archaeological Park, and this path that we're on is a path that runs at the top of the Angkor Thom city wall, which was built somewhere between 900 to 1,000 years ago. I don't think anyone knows exactly what the top of the wall looked like at that time, but the purpose for this path at that time would have been for one, to visit the corner temples, which we're going to one of them right now, and just, I guess, also to get from one gate to another. There are 5 gates on the Angkor Thom city wall. The 5 gates are north, west, south, and then east, but there are actually 2 gates on the east side, and nobody knows exactly, what the purpose of those 2 gates was, except that one of them goes directly to the parade ground in front of the royal family temples and some housing, I suppose, at that point, and just sort of the area that ran the state, the government at that time. So that gate is now known as the. We won't be going there right now, so I should really mention the East Gate first. The East Gate is for anyone visiting the royal palaces. All right, so because it leads directly, it is not squarely in the middle between south and north. It's slightly off so that it can go directly to the parade ground, right, and to the palace. Now, who was using that? That's hard to say. More than likely, only officials, people that were, permitted by the royal family to visit there. And on very special, parade days, there's a parade ground there and all. And we're already at the corner. Now that was very, very quick. So we are now, there are a lot of routes here, so I'm going to walk the bicycle. We are now at the northeast corner temple location. This is this temple is not as well preserved as the northwest corner temple is, but it is an interesting location. The corner at this point, anyway, is is somewhat higher off the ground, or maybe it's just because it's all clear. But if we could see, we would actually see sort of part of Preah Khan across from here, but we can't, So I'll just back off here to first show the northeast Prasat Shrung, which Prasat Shrung, of course, means corner temple. Now, this one is visited a bit more, although not very much, because it is actually a shorter distance from the East Gate, which is not directly in the center of the east of the east wall, so a little bit further north. So it is relatively easy for people to come here, and once I show this, we'll head towards the gate, and you'll see it's a fairly short run. So this will be a little bit of a short video unless I decide to go further. But like I've done before, I'll show the inside, although not much point from here because it's extremely dark in here. So maybe, okay, we'll enter it from the other side. But you can see there's some light coming through here. And we'll just come around. And as can be seen, the temple construction is fairly similar to the other ones, in that there are the devatas, the divine temple guardians. They're just a slight history lesson. These are not the temple dancers that you see in some places. The guardians, the temple guardians, the devatas, they have both feet planted on the ground, right? So you'll notice in all of these corner temples, there are none of the dancing girls. These are the guardians, right? Again, okay, that's kind of an interest. Well, we might as well then climb over. Okay. All right. And as usual in these small temples, is people do come in here and leave offerings, worship the temples. Don't know where these two came from, but obviously somewhere. I'm not sure if that was construction workers here or somebody bringing these. It is a practice in some Asian temples to actually bring statues, you know, like Buddha statues that you can no longer use, that got damaged, or you're moving to another country or something, so you bring them to the temple and leave them there so that, I guess, so that they don't get lonely. So I see it here too, but you see it quite a lot in Thailand, especially around the Chetties. You'll see sometimes hundreds of statues of Buddha, especially. Okay, and those look like Buddha heads back there. All right, so you can see this, the area is very similar to the other ones. After we're finished with this one, the next video after this will actually be of one more of these temples that was very recently restored, and a couple of years ago, and I happened to be in Siem Reap at the time, so I do have photography of the restoration process and all that, but I kind of like these temples that were really not totally restored. And then the one they did restore, the reason they told me, people that were doing it, is that they were hoping for tourists and bicycle touring groups to come and explore these temples, but it never happened. You know, there are still individuals like myself and other people here that come through, but and occasionally there's be a small bicycle touring group of a few people, but all right, so that is about all I can show from here. As I said, I do like this location, like the place, but it doesn't quite have the beauty of the northwest corner temple. All right, so we'll walk it past just outside of this area because this is not exactly a smooth road, and a few people have complained about my not producing a smoother video. So I think from now on, when it gets rough, I just have to do a little bit more walking, because it must be annoying just to see everything bouncing all the time. So we'll make, oops, it's starting to rain. I hope it's not a serious rain. Okay, let's say goodbye to the corner. Then I better get on my bike and ride, because we need to get out of the rain. Well, I guess that answers my question as to whether I'm going to continue this video to the next gate or not. I would say probably not. And that will then be on the last video, going from the what's known as the Death Gate, which I was hoping to also do today. We'll see. Yeah, maybe we should, you know, that way I can put that in the title. Yeah, it looked like that was maybe a short rain. Let's hope so. But right now we are heading to what is known as the East Gate. when I say what is known as in many of these cases is that nobody really knows what it was called uh, in the, in 1,000 years ago, or 900 to 1,000 years ago. There is no real written history of the time, so it's a lot of the history of Angkor is guesswork or interpretation from the carvings in stone. Right? They did have writing, but unfortunately they used a type of a paper. It was sort of like a, how can I say, like a black substance that made the rice paper have a black coating on it, was then scratched into for the text that they wanted to keep at the time, and that all disintegrated and disappeared. So as opposed to the I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out what to do here because it's raining. There is a written record in Myanmar and in Thailand because they use a different kind of a dye. They also have the rice paper of some sort, and the temples actually kept the records. So it looks like the rain is getting heavier. We'll ride right through it. I don't think my camera will, actually my iPhone will get hurt by the rain. So hopefully it'll make a slightly more interesting video. Yeah, this road is the most traveled, as I mentioned before, because it's only a short distance to the East Gate, or a shorter distance to the East Gate, and we will be there fairly soon. And it has been easier to maintain this and to work on it. It's still not, absolutely smooth or paved. I think I've mentioned before that I hope to never ever pave the path up here. But if you just want to do one of these trails when you're here, this is the easiest, right? The most accessible. You can actually, doesn't take that long to walk from the gate, from the East Gate, to this corner temple here, the northeast corner temple. All right. You might actually be able to see it already in the distance, some video here. But it's getting wetter and wetter. I'm going to have to find some place to stop. There's no point to go any further than the top of the gate here. Yeah, we're just about here. Yeah, getting down to the road is a climb from here, so you wouldn't really enjoy that anyway. And I will just park my bike here for a moment. Oh, I guess we'll park it out here so we can do a shot of it. But you can see this is, again, excuse me, this is a lot of roots. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, this is the, as I said, this is the East Gate, and do a short view of the East Gate. Normally there would be always cars parked here for the tourists to take a look at the East Gate and walk through the East Gate, and then obviously you can walk up on the other side too. There's actually a path a little bit to the right down there, and we will take a short walk up on the wall here, and this is the gate here. You can see there's a no climbing sign here, and then this is the causeway going out of Angkor Thom, with the gate going through the wall, and then that is the road that goes to the palace area. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to cut it, and I'll make the next video soon. Okay, I hope you enjoyed.